All right, we're live. Welcome in, everybody. We're back. Been a
What's
couple
good?
day hiatus. How you doing today, Josh?
Doing pretty good. Won some money in craps the other day with Ant, so what's not to like.
Yeah, for all our losses on the football field, we made up for it on the craps table over the
Craps
weekend.
deal.
But yeah, it's been a little bit since we've been on. It's been since I think our last stream was last Friday, I want to say. So it's been about a week. So we have a lot of things to go over. There was actually a good amount of injuries and just situations we need to monitor with players moving forward. Uh, let's go over some NFL news and kind of just talk through some of these situations and our fantasy takeaways. So first off, Josh Jacobs questionable. He did miss practice on Wednesday, but was limited Thursday. The latest quote around that situation is that he is hopeful to play. Um, what do you think about that situation? I kind of think he's going to play.
He's the type of guy to play through injury before, so I think he's probably gonna play this week. But
Hmm.
let me see
That's
who the Packers are playing. I think it's a competitive game. They play the Vikings, so I think that's a game he'd want to play in.
what up, Mando. Good to see you, bro. Um,
What's good, Mando?
yeah, I think Jacobs is going to suit up. He's the type of guy, like you said, to play through injury. Um, I think he may be a little limited, like maybe not his full workload like we're accustomed to. Maybe Emmanuel Wilson gets a little more mixed in there. He's been pretty good when he has touched the ball too. Emmanuel Wilson has, so I wouldn't be
He did pretty
surprised to
good.
see him get some touches, even if Jacobs does suit up. I think he was a priority pickup on waivers for me this week. Got him in a few spots. That's about it for that situation. Falcons, Michael Penix done for the year. I know it's kind of been a down year for Penix, but just brutal luck on his end. I mean, that's his
Other D.
fifth major knee injury he's had in his career. So just a big bummer for him. Feel bad for the guy. Um, what does that where does that change your rankings of any Falcons rest of the season? Does that influence Drake London? Does that influence Kirk Cut or Kyle Pitts for you? Does it have an
Well,
impact
last
on
I
Bijan?
checked, Drake London's doubtful for this week, right? I don't know if he got moved to out yet, but
Yeah, Drake London will not be playing this Sunday, it sounds like.
I mean, what are we really getting with Kirk Cousins? We're getting a washed up old man. From what I saw, he's not playing the greatest football ever, right? Um,
He has only played
Overall,
one game this year, to be fair,
I mean,
but it was a bad one.
it's not like there's rookie upside there.
Yeah. We kind of know
Um,
we're getting with Kirk. Yeah.
right? Like I would love to see him, show us some Vikings stuff, right? But I just don't really think that's gonna happen. I don't think this is a great offense to be in general. With no Drake London, I would like to say Darnell Mooney is gonna play good, but we haven't seen that all season. I think your only startable guys might be Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson. But even then, what kind of production are we going to get with Kyle Pitts? Like, if we're looking at historical data, I don't think it's the best with Kirk Cousins and Kyle Pitts, right? So, not
Mhm.
too excited to load up any Falcons into my lineup this week, but they do have a bit of a light matchup against the Saints in terms of like other teams. So,
Yeah.
I'm mostly starting Pitts or Bijan.
I want to pull up this because this is games fantasy score Bijan Robinson and games with Kirk Cousins. Let me put it on the over so it looks a little prettier. But he went over 21 and a half fantasy points in 5 of 10 games with Kirk Cousins over the last 2 years. Um, I think that these games, I don't think he started. I think this one's only showing up because Penix did get hurt during the game, so Kirk Cousins had to come in. So this one doesn't really count. I think this Carolina game was also a blowout, and this was the one Penix got hurt at the end. So Miami was only one of his starts the only start Kirk Cousins had this year. So it's really only this is the 6 game sample size we're looking at from last season, where we did see good fantasy performances for the most part out of Bijan. So I think it's not really going to affect him too much. I mean, you look at the games from last year where he started, scored over 20 points in 5 of the 7 starts with Kirk last year. And the biggest down game was just a blowout against the Broncos defense. So I think we can have a similar outlook for Bijan rest of the season. With no Drake London this week, we can maybe see more receiving work for Bijan, but we'll have to see.
What's good, Atlanta? What's good, Fiery Tutor?
Yeah, what's up, y'all? Yeah, I remember that game. That was just the penciled in blow up spot we had for Bijan, and then he sold all our fantasy managers that day.
Big bet.
Any other takeaways for
I think Tutor's on the money, bro. I just saw that bet the other day, dude. It was looking juicy and big. So
Hey,
excellent
relax,
analysis.
relax. All right. Let's get to some other news. Joe Mixon was we kind of it's been a quiet situation around that whole injury all season, but the first real update we get on it all year is that Joe Mixon is out for the rest of the season.
Are
Uh,
supposed to be out, so he'll probably be out.
yeah. Where does that change anything for you? Is that something you've kind of been baking into your analysis with this Texans backfield? What do you think?
I mean, we were riding with Woody all season. I feel like the Texans already kind of knew that Mixon wasn't coming back. They were probably just, seeing how competitive their team was this year. Might be an interesting guy to pick up next year. He'll probably drop in the redraft drafts, but I mean, just ride with Woody. I mean, he's playing better than Nick Chubb. I think that last game, you were really high on Woody, but I mean, obviously didn't really get there. But I feel like we can still ride with Woody in terms of his sharing the offense.
Yeah, I think I like the spot for Woody tonight. But we also like the spot for Woody last week, and he still didn't get there against the Titans. This Texans offense is just really tough for me to back. Like, there's guys I like on it, uh, but they still don't always feel great to fire into your lineup. But I think this Joe Mixon injury definitely hurt their team. But I think the bigger concern with this Texans team is their offensive line. Um, I will I'm interested to see what this means for Joe Mixon, like long term. Like, is he back with the Texans next year? Do they let him walk? Does he go somewhere else? Like, is he just done? Or I don't know. I think, like you said, though, he's gonna be an interesting guy to take a dart on. I bet you when drafts open back up in the next couple of months, like the early February, March drafts, I bet you he'll be real buried in those. So he might be a
I
fun
mean, he
name to
was
follow.
already buried this year. I was getting him at like pick 140, like damn near. So that didn't age too well. I mean, he's a complete zero. So
Yeah, yeah. Let's get into some other injury news. Drake London out. We kind of already talked about that. Kind of funny that Michael Penix or Kirk Cousins in both the games he started this year are gonna be. He's gonna be without Drake London in both of those, so they're just kind of a rough situation for him. Um, how long do you think London's gonna be out? Him getting ruled out early in the week isn't super um, doesn't make me super bullish on this injury. I think we might see at least a 2 week absence from him.
I think that's a pretty good take. 2 weeks. I mean, what are they really playing for? Are they even top of their division right now? Let me check.
No, I mean they're still in the mix of things.
I mean, this
I
year
don't know.
really just hasn't gone their way. Um,
Mhm.
it's almost like with the Saints. Like I feel like the Saints weirdly might beat the Texans. Or who do they play? Not the Texans. They
Texans
play a
play
team I
tonight.
like. Falcons. There we go. I knew the Saints were relevant for some reason. I wasn't just bringing them up for no reason. Um, I feel like the Saints might be the Falcons though. Like kind of crazy thought process. Like I know they're not really playing for much, but I feel like It might be looking good against the Falcons. Just injured. No Drake London. Mooney hasn't been doing anything all year. Who's their receiver two now? KC Washington. Like, what are we really getting with the Falcons? Like Bijan, that's cool. He'll probably lose a touchdown to Tyler Algier. Like,
Bijan did. Let's talk about Bijan a little bit because he had a great performance last week against Carolina. We just did move him down in our tier rankings. Do we need to move him back up now, or what do you think?
I think you leave him where he is. I think we have him in A tier, not S tier, and I feel like that is like where he kind of belongs this season.
Mhm.
I don't like the Falcons. They're 3-17, 3-18.
I don't think the Falcons are 3-8.
They're 3-7. They haven't had their bye week yet, or they have had their bye week. I think the Saints just got off of their bye week or something.
Oh, they are 3-7. Yeah, they're just
So literally, if the Saints beat them,
Saints are favored right now. So you saying that isn't crazy. It's
Um,
kind of insane that the Saints are favored in a game this year.
Tyler
Wow.
Shuck, bro, 5-game losing streak for the Falcons right now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, it might be a 6-game losing streak. Do we really think Kirk Cousins gonna turn up for him, Big Kirko? Like, he might, but who is he really throwing to?
Mm-hmm.
If it's gonna be a game, it's probably gonna be a Bijan game. But the Saints have a weirdly not good, but serviceable defense, right? Like they're not just getting like ran over by every team.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to another storyline. Joe Burrow, full participant in practice the last 2 days. Do we think we see Joe this week?
Wasn't he targeting a week 13 return, or was he
Yeah.
targeting week 12?
So initial reports were that he was targeting Thanksgiving as his return. But then he just randomly showed up as a full participant in practice Wednesday. And he's a full participant once again today. And
Average.
to be fair, if I was the Bengals and I knew Joe Burrow was coming back and I didn't have to say for sure he's back until Sunday morning, I would do that, right? Like I would play it the exact way they're playing it, kind of leaving it unknown. Like, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? But him being a full participant in practice leads me to think that he's going to play this weekend.
Definitely a good sign for him to play. My
Mm-hmm.
laptop's dying, so eventually I will have to move downstairs. But
Is
in the
Joe
meantime,
Flacco droppable now for you?
I mean, he is, but send off some trades until that time, right? Like he's basically going to be droppable come Sunday or after Sunday. See if anyone needs to stream a QB in your league, and just literally send him for anything.
Ezekiel, what's up, man? He asked, should I trade Schultz for Shakir? I have Kincaid and could pick up Hunter Henry. I would stick with Schultz. Shakir is pretty much a non-asset for me right now.
Let me put
He's
it to you this way, Ezekiel. Would you trade Schultz for Wandale Robinson? Because that's basically what you're getting in Khalil Shakir, just in a better offense. Like I know
You're
we're
getting less
getting
of Wandale Robinson with Khalil Shakir right now, I would say.
Mods, ban this Andrew Porter guy. Scummy commissioner. What should I I definitely am leaning Schultz right now. I think he has higher upside, but it's so like I want to get some Shakir, right? Like them basically giving up on Keon Coleman is making me pretty bullish on Shakir. Like I think Kincaid is also going to be out this weekend. Last time I checked my
Tonight.
roster.
Yes.
So I mean Shakir basically receiver one for the Bills. And if anyone has any upside, it's going to be the receiver one for Josh Allen, right? Me personally, just to look at these two that are asking about Shavers and Io Sivas. Shavers is cool. I think Gabe Davis is weirdly cooler. That's going to be a really bad aging take, I fear. But I do have Gabe Davis rostered in a very deep league right now. Um, I mean, Shavers has had this role all season, and he only popped this weekend, right? And popped, I think, is what was he like 5 or 8 receptions or something like that.
Mhm.
So I'm not really loving the talent. Like, I think he was an undrafted player as well. Like, I like to lean on draft capital when I'm a little confused about players, right? Like, if I'm looking at a player with no draft capital, NFL analysts, I hope, are somewhat sharper than me, right?
Mhm.
So I would lean towards Gabe Davis, the guy who's coming off a 2-year injury, finally fully healthy, has the rapport with Josh Allen, chose the Bills out of all teams to go to. Um,
Of course he did.
yeah, like I'm leaning Gabe Davis, right, over Shavers, and I love the stream start via Sivas this week. I think it's pretty high upside. It's good frosty.
Yeah, I think I'm Yoshi Voss over Shavers this week. With Shavers, this is just a really tough matchup against this Texans defense, right? And it's really tough for all these Bills receivers, right? I know we're kind of getting like which Bills wide receiver can I start this week? Like I need one of them. Who someone's gonna get there. I think the answer is none of them tonight, dude. You look at this Texans defense. You got Kamari Laster at one end, and then you got Derek Stingley at the other cornerback spot, and then you got Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter coming at you every snap. The Texans play a lot of man coverage, and with this current Bills wide receiver group, I don't necessarily know if I trust any of them to gain separation on these guys. And with the pressure that this D line is going to get on Josh Allen, I think the answer this week is just it's going to be a Bills running back receiving game. You might see some Dawson Knox receiving work. Just a little flat concepts where he's chip blocking and leaking out to the flat so Josh Allen has a safe, easy target he can throw to. I think we're going to see a lot of Cook one-on-one with linebackers, and I think that's the matchup that the Bills should really be looking to exploit in this one. I think Josh Allen running the ball is something that we're going to see this game. Me and Josh, we were talking about it over the weekend actually, and how why I don't know why the Bills don't run Allen like could you imagine the Bills ran Allen like how they were running him against the Bucks in every game?
Mhm.
And I think this is the spot where they're gonna have to run him. I mean, you have no wide receivers this week. I mean, you have them, but like I said, I really hate this spot for them against these Houston corners. I think they're going to need to rely on Josh Allen in the run game, and I think they're going to need to rely on James Cook. Probably see some Ty Johnson mixed in there in the receiving game. So for that reason, I say give me Yoshivas. A long-winded answer to that, and just kind of starting to preview some of my thoughts on the game. I, I same sort of thing Yash was saying. I don't really feel great about Shavers. I think after a dud week this week, he's going to be on the waiver wire again next week.
I'm
I,
higher on Isaiah Hodgins than Tyrell Shavers or whatever his name is.
I don't know if I agree with that, but do you think
I
Bucky
love
will play or should I start Woody? I would go Woody Ezekiel. Bucky is another one I had written down on us to get to on this week of injuries, but he's been limited in practice still yet to get that full practice in, and someone connected to this Bucks team, um, Rondé Barber, did come out and say Bucky will not be playing this Sunday, which I don't know how not to take that 100%, but just I would put it at like an 80% chance Bucky doesn't play as of right now, so I'd go ahead and play Woody and feel good about it. I like this spot for Woody too. Depends on who you're giving up to stash Garrett Wilson. If he's just sitting on your waiver wire, sure. If you can afford the roster spot, I don't hate it.
What did
Wide.
Aaron Glenn just say? He said like they're gonna see what they have in their players or something. I saw that quote, but like the only players they can see something they have are like Mason Taylor and AD Mitchell. So I don't think they're gonna be trotting out Garrett Wilson rest of the season, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm not super bullish on that situation, but if he's sitting on your waiver wire for free, like sure, go pick him up. Fiery asked why'd they give two in so many carries last week. I didn't watch the game. This is something I actually had written down on the show notes too, on something I wanted to talk about. So if you were, I was watching this game at the airport, and in the first half, they were Bayshal Tune was out carrying Travis Etienne. And it wasn't like Tune started the game. No, what happened was Etienne started the game, had a couple okay runs, nothing super crazy. And then Tune came in and just instantly had like a couple like really, really good runs consecutively, where he would just hit the hole super hard, lowered his shoulder, got like an extra 4 yards after initial contact. Uh, just looked like super quick, was running with a lot of juice and was running physical. Like it was the type of runs that as a coach, like you're watching, like, hell yeah, like give him the ball again. And so I think it was kind of like just feeding the hot hand. But I think that moving forward, that might be something we need to think about a little more in this Jacksonville backfield. We talked about Bayshal too in these last couple weeks and how like ETN's clearly the one right now. I think as this season rolls on, Tootin is slowly starting to creep his name into the mix. We did view him as only really a priority handcuff a couple weeks ago, but I think right now he can be more in that range of flex to RB3 options rather than just like the simple handcuff. And I think if he's sitting on your waiver wires, go and get Tootin. He did come down with the injury at the end of this game, and he has been limited in practices. So I think he is going to play. And Travis Etienne has also been limited in these practices. So I think Tootin is just someone we need to keep an eye on. And if Travis Etienne were to go down with the injury, I think Tootin would instantly become like a top 15 running back rest of the season.
I think that's a pretty good take.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, ATL. Cook's gonna get a lot of one-on-ones with linebackers today, and that's the matchup I would be looking to exploit if I was the Bills. I'm not wanting to throw Tyrell Shavers matched up against Kamari Laster. What is going on? Should I trade BTJ and Kamara for McBride? I feel like it's yes on paper. Josh, I'd go and get the smash asset. Send a little more details on like how many teams are in your league, how many starters, so forth. It said you're losing depth, but McBride is clearly the best start of these guys, and I don't know how much depth you're even getting with Kamara and BTJ in a week-to-week
Even
basis.
if BTJ was living up to his potential and people's thoughts on him this year, I still would take the McBride side, I think, if that helps.
Yeah. Frosty asks, play Purdy or Dart? 4-point touchdown, passing touchdown.
Replay. Giants, Lions. Uh-oh. Niners, Panthers. Give me Brock, honestly. I like the rushing upside with Dart, and I think he's normally good for 20 fantasy points from what I've seen, but that Lions defense is no joke.
I think I would go Purdy, yeah, just because it's Dart's first game back. I feel good about Dart rest of the season when he does come back, but I kind of want to see how he looks this first game. If they're going to limit it as rushing after this injury, which I honestly don't think they do. Like, I think they're still going to run him, but
I feel
I
like
think I
that's in part why they fired Dable, though, because he was running him into the ground.
maybe, yeah. I think the bigger reason on the Dable firing, though, is that they blew, over like 4 10-point leads this year.
Yeah.
Josh also added that he had Trey Benson coming back, which is something that I actually had on my list of things to talk about today, because he's been limited in practice this week. And the Cardinals activated his 21-day practice window, which leads me to believe that he'll probably, if I had to guess, be returning next week. Is kind of the the memo I'm getting there. What do you think about that situation, Yash? And where when Trey Benson does come back, are you gonna be ranking him rest of the season?
I'm not excited. I feel like the Cardinals have basically given up on the run game. I mean, he's going to be the lead runner for the Cardinals when he comes back. That's not like in denial, but I feel like most of his production you're going to get from him is going to be from the receiving game, not even the rushing game. So I feel like he'd probably fall into like running back 24 to like 28 kind of range. Like he's going to be kind of gross.
I think I have a little bit of higher expectations. I really liked what Benson was giving us before the injuries. Before James Conner went down, Benson was looking like a really nice RB1B. There was even speculation that he was kind of just becoming a factor in the offense, even without a James Conner injury. He was starting to get like a 65-35, 60-40 sort of split, which was a huge step up from his rookie year where he was basically a non-factor. And he showed a lot of explosiveness in those games. But then very quickly after, obviously went down with the injury and we kind of wrote him off. But we're quick to forget that before that injury, we were really targeting him on that waiver wire. He was the number one pickup in pretty much all formats after that James Conner injury. He was that handcuff running back that we got early on in the season and we were really excited about. And because of the injury, it never really came to fruition. But I believe the only game where he played as a lead back this year too was against Seattle, who we know how tough Seattle is as
Yeah.
a running back matchup. So I feel a little bullish on Benson. I think he could be a guy that comes back for the fantasy playoffs and smashes. I mean, let's look at the schedule for Benson rest of the season and tell me what you think. Sorry, just pulling it up, y'all. All right, so in the fantasy playoffs, Trey Benson is matched up against the Houston Texans week 1, Atlanta week 2, Cincinnati week 3. So obviously he has a really tough matchup in week 15 matched up against the Texans. But if you can get by that first round, Atlanta week 16, Cincinnati week 17 could be the guy you need in that week 17 spot for sure. And even week 16, the Falcons haven't been super stout against the run this season. They have kind of been a run funnel. So I'm bullish on Trey Benson, man. If you can go and get him as a toss in a trade, or if he's still sitting on your waiver wire, go and get him. I think he's a fun name to talk about rest of the season for me. ATL said should be getting Scary Terry back next week. Seems like it, but I'm more bullish on Trey Benson rest of the season than I am about Terry McLaurin. I'll say that.
I mean,
Where
I
are
get
you at on
that,
the Terry
honestly.
stuff? Yeah.
I mean, I'm not excited about any commander. Who are you starting on the commanders right now? Maybe Debo week to week in your flex. Um, but no Jaden Daniels. I mean, we're seeing how bad this offense truly is. Like, I don't know how the hell he brought them to the NFC Championship like that. Mind-boggling to me.
With Diami Brown as a wide receiver
Yeah.
too.
Um, this offense sucks. They are basically moving off Bill from what I'm seeing with my real eyes, and I'm realizing, bro. Have you seen the stuff that say that Bill was like a fantasy football plant?
Yeah, I've seen that. The
So
first ever
funny.
fantasy football plant.
But like, dude, I'm not excited about anyone on the Commanders, and even if Terry does come back next week, what are you realistically getting with receiving split between him and Debo with Marcus Mariota as your quarterback one, right? Because I've been seeing a lot of rumblings that they probably won't even play Jaden Daniels rest of the season, which honestly, I get it. Like, I wouldn't want to do. There's no point. You're putting your franchise guy out there to get re-injured. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
So
I think Jaden's done.
I would maybe avoid Terry, trade him off. I mean, I want to get to this question from Frosty. If you give me,
Yeah,
you already know who
I'll,
my first answer is. Brian
I'll,
Thomas Jr., number
yeah.
one worst pick of the year. Number two, probably Justin Jefferson. Number three,
My pivot was gonna be Bill when you were talking about Bill. I was gonna say,
Bill.
speaking of top 5 worst picks, when Bill snuck up to the 4th round at the end of the fantasy cycle,
Uh,
that has an argument for sure. Um,
AJ Brown
let's
too.
think of
Horrible pick.
let's think of guys that weren't injured, or that aren't bad picks because of injury. Like guys that have just been bad picks because they've been bad picks. I think Brian Thomas, like you said, obviously he's got to be in there. I was thinking Ashton Genty just because he was going ahead of Jonathan Taylor and Devon A-Chain, which I think just instantly makes him a bad pick.
That was
But
kind of like my reasoning for saying Justin Jefferson. Like he is
yeah.
not living up to the 105 or 107 or wherever the hell you drafted him, right? Like Ashton
Mhm,
Genty's the running back 15 or whatever in points per game, but
mhm.
you drafted him as the running back 3 or 4.
Terry McLaurin's been a pretty bad one, from
Yeah.
where he was going to. He was also slid up super early. Um, TJ
You're
Hawkinson.
worthy.
I'd say TJ Hawkinson's been an awful pick at tight end.
I
We
agree
were
with that.
picking him in the top 6 tight ends, and he's like barely been startable. Then you got guys like Darren Waller for a couple weeks coming off the street and giving you better tight end production. You got Harold Fannin, you got Aronde Gadsden all outproducing you when you were going like 100 picks ahead of them. Um,
Gabe Davis just elevated from the practice squad for this game, by the way.
okay.
And who did
Um,
I say? Yeah, I think honestly Xavier Worthy gotta
Xavier
be one of the
Worthy.
worst ones, bro.
Mhm.
Like, what was he, 4th to 6th round?
Yeah, Xavier Worthy's been bad. Uh, Ayuk
AJ
just
Brown.
because he's been a 0, but that kind of deal is one of the injury things.
Hmm.
Joe Mixon, same sort of thing. Uh,
I think a lot of those early picks this year were duds, honestly. Like, even like some would argue Brock Bowers, bro. Like,
yeah, but that's the injury.
that is injury, but
But where he
even
was
now when
going,
he's
yeah, like
back,
I got you. Yeah, leave leave your guys' yeah. Who you guys think in the comments? Andrew said DK. Yeah, DK is a pretty good shot. Kamara, Kamara is probably in the list. He was
I think
cheaper.
quarterbacks played out pretty well this year in terms of where they were drafted. Like, obviously Drake May, big riser, but most of
Mhm.
them are
Jane
whoever you
Daniels,
expected.
Joe Burrow, but those are mainly injury. Josh Allen started off a little slow, but literally just because of last week, he's reminded everybody he's Josh Allen.
Chuba.
Um, Chuba, yeah, Chuba's probably one of the worst picks. I don't
Just
know.
looking through players right now.
Drop Kenneth Walker. Frosty said, yeah, Kenneth Walker's in this list too.
Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden, yeah. Oh my god, dude, I saw a scary, scary stat about
Was it
Matthew
the
Golden.
receivers who haven't got a touchdown in their
Yes.
first 12 games? And it's just all bums like Corey Davis.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's the exact one I saw.
My friend sent me that.
Here, you talk about the next question while I try to find that tweet.
Tootin over DJ Moore and Iosivas for my flex. I mean, honestly, I'd rather go Iosivas and then Tootin than DJ Moore in that order. Just given the Bengals matchup. Let me double check that. They're playing against the Patriots, but if you get Joe Burrow coming back, like I would hope they kind of overcome that matchup. T. Higgins should draw Christian Gonzalez, but I get wanting to do Tootin over Iosivas, but I want to see another week of Tootin getting that like RB 1A 1B type production, right?
Mhm.
They might play him back at like 2080 with ETN just because he's coming off injury. Who knows? But I want to see it one more time before I just start him over someone who's a high quality streamer like Iosivas.
I think I prefer Tua to Yoshivas.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
There's your answer.
I like Tua though. Like as someone who like frankly wasn't really drafting much of Tua this year, like I thought it was just gonna be the ETN show, and when we were paying the same price for both of them, I was drafting ETN every time. But I can't deny how good Tootin looked in this last game, especially. He looked like the better runner, to be honest. I already know I'm going to be drafting a ton of Bayshall Tootin for next season.
Yeah.
Frosty asks, what do we expect Hendo's stat line to be? It's hard to say.
11 carries, 60 yards, 2 receptions for 18 yards, and then maybe a tud to Ramondre. Someone write that down. If that hits for that stat line, you owe me like $5 or a like and a sub.
Yeah. I think with Ramondre back, we could still pencil in Hendo for 12 to 15 touches a game. It's kind of been the mark I've been saying. And I think that that's enough for a player like Hendo. As long as we're still getting him involved in the receiving game, we're still getting him on the outside runs. I think that's something we can be excited about. I was reading a fun article actually from James Coe, who's one of the guys on works with reception perception, and he was talking about how running back outside run rate is a sneaky stat to look at for running backs, and how that can be very indicative of fantasy success at times, just because flat out running backs who get outside more runs score more fantasy points than running backs who are getting inside runs. And just thinking about that simply, right? Like outside runs, you have a slightly higher chance of breaking one to the house, right? And that's how we want our explosive running backs to get used. We want them to get to the edge. We want them to get on the outside because that's where they are at their best when they're in space, right? And Henderson has had a high outside run rate, and I think that if he continues to get those opportunities, even with Ramondre back, he's still going to be fantasy viable.
What's good, Frizzle?
Yeah, what up, man? Good to see you.
Bro,
Make sure to drop a like, y'all. Appreciate y'all in here. Join the Discord if you're not in there already. Yeah, I'm starting Travion still, Mando. Ride with a hot
Hey,
hand.
you skipped Frizzle, bro. Joe Burrow or
Oh,
Daniel Dimes?
my fault. My fault. Danny Dimes also showed up on the injury report today.
Really?
Just putting that out there. Yeah.
Oh, I need to move. My laptop's dying. Give me a sec.
All right. I'll take you off for a sec, Yosh. Frizzle, I would play Burrow if he's playing, but obviously that's still pretty uncertain. So I think you can roll with Dimes and feel good about that too. If doomsday scenario both miss, let me go through some right matchups and talk about who might be a quarterback stream for the week. Joe Burrow against Patriots, Lions, Minnesota. Not wanting to play anyone there. Sam Darnold against Tennessee could be fun. Daniel Jones against the Chiefs, even if he doesn't play, honestly doesn't feel super great. Shador versus the Raiders. Probably don't want to play Shador. I'd go Burrow if he plays for sure. Give me Travion, Mando. And then this is just crazy that this question is being asked right now in 2025, considering where we were the first couple weeks of the season. Rome Odunze or Michael Wilson? Wow. All right, so we got Rome Odunze matched up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who we know have been quite a pass funnel, and a team we want to target through the air. So I do like this spot for Rome Odunze. And then Michael Wilson, on the other hand, is facing the Jags, who are even more so a major pass funnel as of right now. We did see them play well against the Chargers last week, but I think that was less because of their secondary and more due to their pass rush, just getting home whenever they wanted to against this god-awful Chargers O-line that we have right now. This is a great – Mando, let me know who your other starters are, because – doesn't feel great to bench either of these guys this week, considering they both have friendly matchups. And it feels crazy to say this, but I think I might lean Michael Wilson.
Crazy you're saying that.
Michael Wilson against the Jags is just such a good spot.
That's what we thought about freaking the Chargers last week, bro. The Jags are showing up. The Jags got something to play for.
That's what I was talking about, though. It's I think that is more of a Chargers offensive line, Jags pass rush than anything to do with their secondary.
This Cardinals offensive line that much better?
Yes. the
Mm.
the Chargers are down like half their starting offensive line, both tackles, and are
Coming
just
into the season, weren't the
so bad.
Jags defense like premium type defense? Like I feel like we've kind of just discounted that because of a couple of bad games they've had against good teams or mediocre teams. I'm almost willing to ride more with that, but you are getting the receiver one for the Cardinals with Michael Wilson, who are a pass heavy team. So
Yeah. And Jacoby Brissett's been airing it out. And the thing about Brissett, he'll get rid of the ball.
this is true.
Pick 2, Yoshi Voss, Burden, Jacoby Myers, Mooney, or Kareem Hunt.
You like Burden this week, huh, Atlanta?
Give me
I thought you were
Jacoby.
saying
I think Jacoby's
ill.
the most locked and loaded of this group, to be honest.
I don't love that.
Against the Cardinals, you don't love it? That could be a
I
fun
just
game environment.
don't love starting Jacoby in general.
I mean, it feels better than any of these other guys. Yoshi Voss seems to be like everyone's talking about Yoshi Voss. Like, what's up with him? Why is he
Yeah, why
so
is no one
new?
talking about Jermaine Burton, bro? I'm gonna
Why
cry if
why is
that
why is
happens.
everyone talking about Yoshi Voss and putting his name in the start sits like he's only gone like this guy's only gone over 10 points 2 times this year, guys.
Last season he had that one really cool goal line touchdown. That's why people like him. He's flashed.
Yeah, I just don't think he's very good. Like I don't love the talent from him, to be honest.
Fair.
Give me Jacoby Myers. Give me Kareem Hunt because he'll score a touchdown.
I don't
Even
like
with
the analysis there, not gonna lie. Who are they playing? The Colts too, bro. Like you really think he's a ride in for a touchdown against the Colts?
I mean, no, but he's the most he has the most locked and loaded role of all of those other players.
Mooney's going to be the receiver one for the Falcons, led by Kirk Cousins. Io Sivas will be the receiver two for the Bengals, led
Why is
by
he the one?
Mason Burrow.
Oh, that's why he's being talked about. Is because Jamar Chase is out.
Yeah, you
Duh.
forgot the spit gate, bro. So that's why Io Sivas is very interesting because who are they going to really trot out there? Mitch Tinsley, Jermaine Burton, who's been a healthy scratch like 4 times this season.
This is
See why people like Io Sivas, bro? Like, who's going to get the ball? Noah Fant? Low key.
Chase Brown.
Against, they have a tough matchup. The Patriots, dude.
Yeah, but Chase Brown through the air. He's been getting. Hey, you were talking about Chase Brown knocking the receiving work like he did, and he got 6 receptions once again this last week. So,
I can't believe that. That's crazy to me.
dude, he's a threat in the pass game, man.
I know it's
I guess you could go Yoshi Voss then, like Jacoby Yoshi Voss. I'm not playing Mooney for sure, and Burden's just too much of a guess. It feels like
let me look
like
at
you
this
could get there with Burden, but I also would. I think he probably has the lowest floor of these guys.
What was the snap share looking like for his second game with them, right?
Mando, I wouldn't say so. I think Lamar's gonna play. I think it's just kind of the point of the season because he's dealt with so many injuries that he's gonna show up on the injury report every week. Mando also has start one, flex one, Alvin Kamara, Manuel Wilson, Gainwell, Jordan Addison, or Worthy. You going Alvin Kamara here?
Let me look at these matchups. What was the analysis I had last week with Alvin Kamara? It was the fact that he had one of his best rushing games of the year. And what was the change the Saints made? Devon Vele, 70 snaps, great blocker, right? Am I willing to ride out that take a little bit compared to these names, right? With Emmanuel Wilson, Gainwell, I don't know how Warren's trending right now. Last I saw, he was limited or unable to practice today.
Warren seems like he's gonna play.
Yeah, so that sucks for Gainwell. I'm not starting Jordan Addison with JJ McCarthy. I'm not. Let me look at their matchup. I think they play. I already said, yeah, the Packers. I have a pea brain sometimes, guys. Sorry. Um, Worthy hasn't done anything for you this season, so I'm not really considering him, especially against the Colts.
Colts are
It's acceptable to a pass game.
yeah, it might be not. It might not be a bad spot for Worthy.
I
But
mean,
does
the
he?
Chiefs have to win this game.
I think Kamara Worthy or Kamara Gainwell is viable. And then obviously, if Josh Jacobs doesn't play, Emmanuel Wilson is the best of this group. But I do think that Josh Jacobs is going to play.
If you're telling me to start running backs and flex one player, I'd probably go Kamara Worthy. I think those are your two highest upside players.
Mm-hmm. ATL, yeah, Mariota actually did play well against the Dolphins. I cannot lie. That was just the weirdest game ever, too. The Dolphins deciding to not kick a go ahead field goal within 2 minutes and go for a touchdown was like probably one of the stupidest coaching decisions I can remember on an NFL game. Like that was just awful. They did not deserve to win that game after they did that. Chivalry King asked, should I trade Chase Brown and Bo Nix for RJ Harvey and Joe Burrow? My running backs are Hall, Jacobs, Dowdle, and Benson. Standard, so no PPR. His other running backs are pretty good. And if it's standard, Chase Brown isn't giving you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an upgrade for quarterback at a downgrade for running back, right? So,
Is it an upgrade at quarterback? Do we know what we're getting with Joe Burrow?
yes, it's Joe Burrow.
I don't know, man. I just saw Joe Burrow get traded for Rashad White last week, and that trade wasn't vetoed and was considered fair. Well, my trade for Josh Jacobs was not. So,
I think in this one, I would hold. Bo Nix does have a really nice playoff schedule. So although, like you said, Burrow is an upgrade on paper, I think you just ride with Nix. Chase Brown is a better asset than Harvey.
I think Bo Nix is getting a lot of negative media coverage right now, in terms of like social media and like mainstream media. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, if Bo Nix was better, like the Broncos, blah blah blah," right? But Sean Payton likes him. Sean Payton's the coach. Bo Nix, I think, is still a top 10 QB in terms of points per game on this season. I haven't checked, but I mean, it's like my take with who is it? DeAndre Swift, right? Like DeAndre Swift gets you fantasy production. You don't really like watching the football games with him though, right? Like you really don't love what you see, but when you look at the box score and your fantasy score with DeAndre Swift, he gets there, right? And Bo Nix is kind of the same type of player, but at quarterback, right? Like I don't like watching Bo Nix play football. I don't. Um, but I mean, we saw his upside. We saw a 40-point game from Bo Nix this season, right? Like he has more rushing upside than Joe Burrow. He's got a better O line than Joe Burrow, right? I'll
Mm-hmm.
ride with Bo Nix for now, but I think you're winning at running back low key. Like, yeah, it sounds like a downgrade, but RJ Harvey just came off probably the worst game he will have as the starting running back for the Broncos. Like, we had already known that was going to be a rough running back matchup for him. Only gets 30 yards, right? Like, what is that? 3.3 yards for your standard.
Yeah.
So I think it's a nice buy low on Harvey. And honestly, a little bit of an overpay on Joe Burrow because you're almost projecting him at like Patrick Mahomes' production without seeing him do that. He didn't even do that while he was healthy, I don't think.
He only played one full game this year, to be fair.
I mean, we can look at last season too. I don't think I love Joe Burrow. I think he's like a great player. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league. I love the underdog story, but in terms of fantasy production, it's a different story, I think. Or not. Last season he's a dog. I'm just looking at these numbers, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude, you're
Um
freaking Joe Burrow smashed down the stretch last
Joe
year.
Burrow to go.
He
But
won people leagues.
what are the
Um,
Bengals looking like right now? How competitive are they?
ATL traded injured Bowers for Keenan and Bill because Eckler and Najee Harris were out week 2. That's rough, man.
Bengals are 3-7.
All right. Mando said his for the Michael Wilson, Roma Dunze thing. His other wide receivers are Justin Jefferson and Pickens. I mean, Pickens, you got to fire up, but Justin Jefferson, like, with what he's been doing, like, his name probably should be in the consideration with that pool. Like, I still think I'd prefer him to Roma Dunze, but that's as closer than you think based off the name alone. Where are you on that? So start 2 of 3: Justin Jefferson, Michael Wilson, Roma Dunze.
You
Michael
can't
Wilson.
bench Justin Jefferson though, right? Like that's the problem with Justin Jefferson. He's like a weird roster clogger, you know? Like he's one of those guys where you know he's going to get 12 targets, like 8 to 12 targets a game minimum. And at the same time, what is he going to do with those targets? How many is he going to reel in? How many of those targets are going to be accurate? How competitive is this offense going to be against the Packers who just showed us they like to play slow, right? Realistically, you're probably good for 11 points with Justin Jefferson. You might get 20 from Rome. You might get 4, you know? So I don't love Justin Jefferson this year. I think I would order it Pickens, JJ, then Rome out of those options.
So we're benching Michael Wilson,
Yeah.
who is coming off the highest yardage total of any wide receiver this season.
Yeah, off of what, 48 completions from his quarterback while playing down the entire game. Like,
Do
if you
we?
just said you like the spot for Trey Benson, you can't also love the spot for the receivers because that
No. Trey Benson probably isn't playing. I was just saying I like Trey
he's
Benson
projected 11 points this week
rest of the season.
on my
Benson.
ESPN roster. Yeah,
No,
I
I
just
like playing.
checked.
I like the spot for Wilson. I like attacking the Jags team through the air. Um, yeah. To be honest, though, I think you still do play a Dunze. Although I don't know. It's a toss up for me. That just makes me think I need to be taking some Michael Wilson in weekly drafts.
I think it's a high upside play. It just depends. Like, what are you projected against the guy you're playing? Are you projected more? Are you projected less? Because I think Michael Wilson might have. I could see Michael Wilson outscoring Justin Jefferson, dude. I really can.
Yeah, it's nuts that we're having
Like,
this conversation right now, but yeah.
dude, Justin Jefferson is my receiver 3 in a league right now. Like, what are we doing? You know?
Yeah. I'm with you, man. Um, let's talk about this. Let's talk about Shedeur Sanders, who made his debut this last weekend
Perfect transition into
against the
Frizzle.
Ravens. Not super encouraging performance, but to his credit, hadn't received any reps with the starters, blah, blah, blah. Tough thrown in at halftime against a tough Ravens defense. What do you think about this? Do you think, and he is going to be the starter this week against the Raiders. Is this the Shedeur blow up spot? What does this mean for the Browns? What does this mean for Dylan Gabriel moving forward if Shedeur plays well? Do you think he's going to play well? What do you think, Josh?
I saw this funny TikTok last night before I went to sleep. You know, when you see a player on the Browns, you have to adjust their stats for AFB, adjusted for Browns. Okay. But on a serious note, I mean, the Raiders suck. Anthony just saw the Raiders suck in person. Bought this flight, got robbed by the casinos just to see his team get smashed by the Cowboys. With that said,
All
The
right,
Browns
let's
might suck.
relax, buddy.
With that said, the Browns might suck more. Like, Shador wasn't getting the best production. We have this whole narrative the entire season that Kevin Stefanski doesn't even like Shador, didn't even want to draft Shador, wants to not set him up for success, right? Even with all of that narrative out of your mind, let's just break it down. Let's assume that Shador was a second to third round rookie, right? What are you seriously getting from a second to third round rookie quarterback in their first start? Even though it's a soft matchup, what are you realistically getting there? 200 yards, 250 yards? Where are those passes going? All season it's been to the tight ends. What is Jerry Judy doing for you? He's only had one good game. Gets 8 targets, doesn't do anything with them. Cedric Tillman, another interesting player who might get, 5 targets, 3 receptions, 38 yards, right? That's probably something like what his line's at right now on Underdog. I'm not excited, right? Like, I know that Shador is an interesting player, but it's a home game for the Raiders. They're coming off an embarrassing loss. You know, it's an not individ. Ah, it's an in conference. It's an in conference game, right? AFC game. I don't love the spot for any Browns player. I wanted to start Harold Fannin this week, Frizzle, but even with him, who I consider their number one pass catcher right now in terms of fantasy and honestly, kind of in terms of real life, I like Jawan Johnson and Kyle Pitts better than Fannin right now. And that was not true for the first 10 weeks of this season.
I'm with you.
So I think it's just coming down to reality. I like the quarterback switch. I like Shador Sanders, right? It might be nice, but what are you getting from a rookie quarterback on their first start?
Yeah. I think I'm interested to see how this goes. I don't know if I'm necessarily like super excited on terms of fantasy implications for it. Like I'm not gonna be playing Shador Sanders, not gonna be playing Harold Fannin, not gonna be playing any Jerry Judy, but I might be playing some Quinshon Judkins. I think this might be a game where we see Quinshon Judkins get a lot of work. And I do expect this game to remain competitive, which it's like we talked about Quinshon Judkins, very game script dependent. This is going to be a game that they can probably keep close, so he should be able to get his usual heavy workload. On the other side of things in this one, is Myles Garrett going to get 10 sacks? Like,
He might.
who's
He
going to
might.
block him? Like, and we know Gino's not going to get the ball out. We know Gino's good for taking sacks. Like, I might hammer some Myles Garrett sack props over the weekend, to be completely honest.
I'm gonna have to hammer a Geno Smith fumble prop, bro.
That could be a fun one too. But yeah, that I'm excited to watch this game, to be honest. Like it's a gross one, but it's kind of fun.
It's
Shador
nice seeing
Sanders.
two gross teams.
And also too, like Shador Sanders has the like we talk about like revenge narratives. Like Shador Sanders was
Supposed
supposed
to
to
go to
like
Raiders.
he wanted to go to the Raiders. He had the connection with Tom Brady, and they passed on him like 5 different times. Um, I don't think I could see Shador playing well, to be honest, but we'll see. It's a soft defense. Like if he is gonna play well, I think this is a matchup he would do it in. It is not great that this is his first start of the season, but we'll see how it goes.
Did you see his stats against like pressure looks and like blitz? Like it's not good. It's not good
Yeah, it's
stuff.
bad, but I don't like drawing from that just because it's such a small sample size, and like watching that game, Baltimore saw him in the game and like was like, all right, we're gonna send every blitz package we have at him, and it was just clear that Shador was
Welcome
like,
to the
whoa,
NFL.
yeah, like, and to be fair, like if you're Shador Sanders, you haven't even practiced with the starters, like you haven't
Mhm.
touched the field all season, like you're game planning, but it's different when you're game planning as the starter, right? When you're like really like you argue like, oh, you should be doing that still as the backup. Like, come on, bro. Like, are you really gonna like fully study the opposing team's defense like you should be doing when you're the backup? It's just a different type of workload and expectation when you're the starter. And now the coach is also putting that on your shoulders when, to be honest with you, like coaches don't care about the backups during the week. Like they care about getting the starters ready to play. So getting thrown in the fire, Baltimore throwing the kitchen sink at him, like that's a tough spot for him. We talk about too, like this Baltimore defense has really improved throughout the year. They still have a lot of star talent on this defense. Like that wasn't an easy task for him at all. And I don't want to be like super apologist for Shador. Like it wasn't great. But I think he did show some flashes of like the throw he hit Harold Fannin on the last drive where it was like right over the middle, 25 yards downfield. Like that, I think was a better throw than anything I'd seen Dylan Gabriel do all season. So I'm encouraged by a couple plays like that. But we'll see how he looks against the Raiders and Max Crosby. That's not an easy guy to go against your first NFL game either.
For Frizzle, I think Jaden Higgins is a good stash. Just in general, you're not even
Mm-hmm.
looking at your roster. Like, I think he's the receiver 2 on the Texans right now.
Mm-hmm. Mando said Niners or Jaguars defense better start.
Oh, the Niners defense, how far we've come. Give me the Jags. I'm high on the Jags.
Yeah, I think I'd go the Jags too, to be honest. Even though he talked about like in the spot for the Cardinals, like Brissett has been turning the ball over. Better kicker, Badgley, Butker, McPherson. I guess McPherson.
I think McPherson, just because. I mean, is Mike Badgley his Lions kicker? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like Badgley against the Giants at home.
Yeah.
Butker's another one.
I
I
think
would probably do Badgley, Butker, Fearson.
Mm-hmm. I think we're caught up on all the questions and narratives I wanted to talk about. Let's talk about tonight's game a little bit and preview that, and then we will get out of here. Let's first of all, I'll pull up Outlier. 1 second, folks.
Let's take a Gabe Davis touchdown and over bang. That's the show.
We will not be doing that. We talked about the Texans secondary and how good it is. Like this is just I will not be playing this game through any Bills pass catchers. I said earlier I like James Cook receiving props. I like even Ty Johnson receiving props. I like Josh Allen rushing stuff. And I like Woody Marks today too.
I think Woody touchdown might be a good shout, Mando. Mando, why'd you change your username, bro? Why are we Mando Montana now? What's up with that?
As you can see here, me and Yash were talking about this a little before stream, but crazy amount of money is being put on the Bills right now. 90% of public money on the money line, and 77% of bets are going to the Bills to cover the spread. 81% of that is on the money. With the 5.5 point spread, like what's your lean on that? Do you think the Texans cover in this one?
5.5 point spread. What is that? 2 field goals.
Mm-hmm. Do they keep it within a touchdown? Within a field, 2 field goals.
Davis Mills is still playing.
Mm-hmm. I kind of like the Texans to cover. I would maybe alt them to 6.5 to 7.5 just to make myself feel a little better.
Texans might sneak into the playoffs too. I think they might cover that.
Yeah. I mean, Texans have covered 5.5 and 8 in the last 10 games. The only misses were against the Broncos, against Seattle, who they lost by 8, and against the Jags, who they lost by 7. So they are yet to lose a game this season by more than 8 points. Um,
I'm trying to think like the rest of the betters, and what I feel like the rest of the betters are saying is that the Bills are just going to run away with it, right? But that doesn't make sense to me because the Bills' defense is atrocious, right?
mhm,
And the Texans, they have their problems, but how are the Bills really going to punish those problems, right? Like they have a bad O line. How are the Bills going to punish that,
mhm.
right? Did they get any healthy players back under their defensive line, or was that the Titans that got a healthy player back on their defensive line?
That is
It was the Titans, right? That's why Woody didn't do too hot.
yeah, they got Jeffrey Simmons back. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't think anyone's coming back for the Bills or that D line. So I'm kind of like I disagree with the public in the sense that the Bills are just gonna dog the Texans, right? Like, how are they gonna dog them? They don't have any receivers. I feel like the Bills have been like weirdly not struggling, but not performing to where they should be on offense, right?
Mhm.
So I feel like I don't like the process a lot of bettors are going with of just seeing Texans versus Bills. Let's go Bills because they have a way better offense. They should just drown the Texans, right? And the Texans have been showing us all season they don't have the best offense.
Yeah, I think the Texans cover. You look at their last home games too, and that's in Texas. They've been covering 7.5 points every home game. The only game they lost this was a blowout against the Ravens on Christmas Day, where I don't know if you remember this game, Yash, but it was just a weird game where like the Texans went for it on fourth down in the red zone a couple times, didn't get in. The Ravens just kind of ran away with it. Um, but every matchup this season at home, they've kept it somewhat respectable. Um, I think 7.5 points. If we all did to that, that feels great.
They're a win behind the Jags for the AFC South. They could sneak in if they win it.
Even if we have Texans at that 5.5 number, they still covered that in 9 of their last 10 home games.
Breakout Woody game, pin it, clip it. I mean, I don't even think that's a hot take, Frizzle. I could see Woody going for 80 yards this game.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty easily, 80 yards, 18 touches type. Maybe we see, Nick Chubb with like 30 yards off of 8 to 11 carries or something like that. Woody
Mm-hmm.
marks 3 touchdowns is a little cute, Mando, but Frizzle,
Let's
I would drop CIJ Spears for Jaden Higgins. I honestly, if you have a Titans player, I'd drop him for literally anyone more interesting. Like that's where I'm at with the Titans. Have you seen
let's.
Xavier Restrepo might play this week?
I did not see that.
I've been monitoring that very closely as a Cam Ward owner in Dynasty.
Hmm.
But even then, like, what kind of impact is he going to make? That guy who just played over him this week, I think his name was like also Mitch Kinsley or something. Mitch Kinsey, like, dropped 2 wide open passes from Cam Ward, 5'11 guy. Don't know why they're trotting him out there over Restrepo.
Is
Little,
Nick is Nick Chubb rush yards a good play today?
what is it at? 20. Let me look at the splits.
Like I know Woody's the guy we love recently, but like
You got to take your good odds where you get them. Let's see.
this feels like a pretty good time to take Chubb.
I almost like Chubb touchdown better. Who's been getting more red zone?
It's Ben Woody. Chubb's only scored in 2 games this year.
Damn, RotoWire doesn't even
Um,
show me who's getting red zone touches. That's annoying.
I think rush yards is a really sharp play right here. You can literally take him at 9.5 rush yards on Price Picks, which is like
What?
actually free.
I mean, he did just get 18 snaps this last week, and
He
out of those
did.
18, how many did he rush for?
I mean, he played 34% of snaps, 23 rushing plays.
He rushed the ball 3 times for 17 yards. Damn, he low-key been kind of a dog these last 2 games. 5 rushes, 47 yards, 3 rushes, 17. Nick Chubb, I see you.
Yeah, I think Chubb can see some work. I think that's a sharp play, to be honest. I know Woody Marks is the name we like, but like Bills have been susceptible against the run D. Um, I think Nick Chubb taking him
If
down
Nick
to like.
Chubb's line is at 10 yards, you take it.
Mhm. Well, it's at 20.5, but like you can alt him to 9.5 is what I was saying. Not gonna lie, David. I don't know how I feel about these. I think I like Josh Allen a little better than James Cook today. Let's look at some Josh Allen rushing stuff and I'll explain why. So Houston, we know, plays a lot of man coverage, right? Something for QBs that run the ball, they tend to do a lot better against teams that play a lot of that man coverage, right? Um, I think we can see Josh Allen touchdown this game. Um, wow, actually, this Houston defense is also very stout against QB rushing, so maybe that isn't a good shout. Maybe yards is the better way to play it for Josh Allen. But I do think we see him touch the ball a lot today on the ground. I just also don't think this is a great, like we said, this is a good run D versus inside runs. They're a good pass defense as well. I think the way the Bills move the ball today is through the Josh Allen on the ground, through James Cook and Ty Johnson, the receiving game. I think that's how they have to play it this week. Josh Allen, we talked about this early on the stream, but we like the way in competitive game scripts how they run Josh Allen. And I think that this game will be a competitive game where he is forced to run the ball. I like Josh Allen rushing stuff a little more than James Cook today. The Texans are very stout against running backs. Let me pull up James Cook and I'll explain. But they can give it up through the air, which is why
You
I'm
gotta
saying I
take
like.
Fairbairn. Props, 100%. Honestly, a Kaiki Fairbairn is on your waiver, bro. Go pick him up. He probably is because he was injured for like 2 weeks when he's the #1 kicker.
So yeah, if we look at running back rush yards, Houston is third on terms of rush yards given up to running backs, and then receiving yards is 11th. So both are matching up as unfavorable, but we obviously see that through the air is playing better than on the ground against Texans running backs. When we look at touchdowns, they're about middle of the pack on terms of running backs, but just because of the volume overall, they don't allow very many through the ground. I think we're getting it at decent odds, getting it at -105. Usually we see James Cook a little more juice to the over. So I think an anytime touchdown is certainly viable. But I just like playing it through the receiving yards market a little more. When you look at his receiving yards, um, I think that this is a good spot for him. Against this Texas defense, like we said, he's going to see man coverage. Went for 17, matched up against them last year. It doesn't look great overall when you're looking at the season-long data, but we have seen this trending up. And also, too, if you take out Dalton Kincaid, who the Bills will be without, he did smash the over in one of those two games without him this season. The second one being the game against Atlanta where the Bills were just awful on prime time.
Yeah, that was a bad game.
Poke Varsity said Schultz, Fannin, Mason T, Brock Ryder, Fant. I think I say Dalton Schultz. Where are
It's
you,
Pokey
Josh?
Varsity, bro. He's a Pokemon fan. Lock in. Um,
Oh, my bad. Poke Varsity. I didn't
Schultz.
see the picture.
Schultz fan. I thought he was talking about like Poke, like the food for
Yeah.
a second. Not Brock Wright. I don't think there's any talent there. Noah Fant's interesting just because you see him coming off of 6 targets, like 5 receptions last week. Schultz, I think, probably has the highest upside, though. I mean, we've seen him smash like what 3 times in a row now.
Yeah.
Um, and the Bills are like I was looking at defensive standings and like defensive rankings, and I think the Bills are like top 15 in receiving defense. Comma,
Yes.
but Anthony had talked to me about this last week, and I think that is just because teams are simply just running it against the Bills and therefore not passing it against the Bills. So it's like it's fraudulent. It's a fraudulent pass defense. The only reason they look good is because they're not being targeted because the rush defense sucks so much, right? So Schultz is an interesting play. I'm not entertaining Mason Taylor, even with not Jacoby Brissett, Tyrod Taylor, right? So I'd probably go Schultz. If you really love Shador, maybe Fannin, but I just went on a whole tangent about not liking any Browns pass catchers with a rookie QB on their first start.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one, David. I think Ant would like that one. Khalil Shakir over 5.5 receiving yards in the first quarter.
That is an interesting one. That I actually do like that. You're just betting that they get him the ball early.
Keon healthy and active too.
Yep.
Which I mean, Frizzle, you'd probably like the Gabe Davis shout out of everyone. I already picked up Gabe Davis. I think he's a very, 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 very sneaky pickup if you're in very deep leagues. I mean, he just got 4 targets through 3 receptions and 40 yards last game. Um, and that's his first game back with the team.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel comfortable enough to healthy scratch Keon Coleman and roll with Gabe Davis. Is it Tyrese Tyrell? I don't know. Some T shavers, right? And Rose, you would love some of the insanely sneaky shouts I give my one friend over text. I can't give them to Anthony because I'm in too many dynasties with him, but I give it some insanely sneaky shouts. Heard Curtis Samuel's not playing tonight too. Yeah, so it honestly might be a Josh Palmer game. I know that's like very gross to hear, but they did pay him 10 mil a year for 3 years for a reason. He was serviceable on the Chargers a couple years ago, right? So even then, it's like Ant said, do you really want to target any pass catchers against the Texans? Not particularly. Like, what are we really getting with the upside here? Have we seen a receiver drop 20 points on the Texans all season? Is there any way to check that Ant on Outlier?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's probably going to be less than 5.
Let's look at Shavers. What do they have Shavers at?
Tyrell.
24.5 receiving yards.
Tyrell Shavers, guys. Frizzle, have you rostered Gabe Davis yet? I'm curious to know.
Houston is sixth best wide receiver yards per game, fourth best overall in receiving yards. We look at some receivers against them. They haven't. JSN went for 123 on them, but that's JSN. Other than that, no one looks like they have gone for. This is the full season, but at least the last couple weeks, no one's gone for more than 45 on them besides JSN.
So there's your answer to that. It's not exactly a good spot for receivers. Like, even if I'm like the highest guy ever on, Khalil Shakir or Gabe Davis, like, what's their upside? 12 fantasy points.
Yeah.
That is kind of free frizzle. That's a lock. I might have to throw that down. Is that actually what he's at right now?
Probably. I don't know if I love it.
I think I love it.
I'm trying to cook on prize picks right now. I'm looking at Josh Allen rush. I'm looking at Fairbairn field goals. Shout out shout out from Frizzle for that one. And then I got the Chubb 9.5 rush yard square in here. I'm exploring an under on one of these Texans receiver to put my money where my mouth is. But I don't know who I'd want to play it through.
The Texans are such a weird team right now, I feel like.
I think Ty Johnson, one reception is like a very free number.
David says he's got the Texans at +6.5 spread.
Yes,
That's where
sir.
you're getting.
That's a good call, David. I like that a lot. I think they keep it within 6.5. If you bump it to 7.5 and get a little bit of better odds, I like that even more. Or a little bit worse odds.
Frizzle, the super sneaky news you need to watch out for tomorrow is whether or not Xavier Restrepo gets elevated from the practice squad. I'm going to be looking out for that all morning long. Will he do anything? Probably not. Is it always nice to snag a quarterback who's playing with their college receiver? Absolutely. You've seen how that's working with 4th-round Troy Franklin. Disgusting.
Yeah, Troy Franklin out targeting Cortland Sutton. Let's talk about that situation a little bit. How low are we on Cortland Sutton now? Like,
Pretty low, dude.
is he in the shadow
Pull
realm?
up rankings. Like, I don't think he's in the shadow realm, but I think he's in like the DK Metcalf realm, bro. Like maybe worse. You're not liking what you're getting, right? It's like I said earlier, like, yeah, Bo Nix is producing in fantasy, but like it's about all he's doing. He's not playing good football, in my opinion. Where do we got him? Where is DK? I think
DK's in D
first
tier.
of all, Diggs needs to go up. Diggs needs to go to like high D. Maybe he edges into C, but honestly, I like the names in C way more. Um, so he's probably top of D now, but Cortland Sutton, man, like I don't know why you keep on pushing Brian Thomas into into these tiers, man. I think Sutton might be close. No, JMO has to go up too. Sutton's probably close to like a worthy right now. You know?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm fine moving Sutton down a tier.
Like that'll probably be a name that we have to monitor, but let's look at this.
Does DK Metcalf come down to these guys too?
Yeah, I don't think he is a. Damn, you bumped JMO 2 tiers. Are you talk about that? Talk through that.
Yeah, I think we got to bump JMO up to these guys.
Are you buying the Dan Campbell
Because
scheme?
I think I'm JMO over Marv rest of the season.
We live in a
JMO over
society.
JMO could even be over Zay Flowers rest of the season, to be completely honest.
Sutton's still sitting at 20% of team targets, but I feel like that's mostly because of early in the season.
Josh, I gotta run in the bathroom real quick. I'll be
You're
right back.
good. I'll continue to dissect Cortland Sutton for you guys, but he's just not performing where you want him to, right? Compared to the beginning of the season. Like he was a dog. And now we have him losing out work to Pat Bryant and Troy Franklin, bro. Don't even get me started on Marvin Mims being like a special teams guy at this point. The Broncos offense is just like so disgusting. They're such like a team that's carried by their defense. And I'm still scarred from seeing Cortland Sutton drop this one end zone touchdown for like 40 yards and it hit his chest and he dropped it. Like I'm still not over that. So, in terms of where I would put Sutton on this tier list, I think E is where I would right now. That said, Cortland Sutton probably a decent buy low. Like if you can get Cortland Sutton for an Alec Pierce, and like I know that's weird to say considering we have Alec Pierce a tier above Cortland Sutton. I just think inherently this could just be a bad stretch for Cortland Sutton, right? We've seen this throughout his entire career of him just having these trends of being like a dog and just being bad, right? So I kind of like buying Cortland Sutton for very cheap. Like if you can get Cortland Sutton for a guy who just got off waivers or something, and like if you can get Cortland Sutton for Michael Wilson, oh, ill, that's a conversation we should have with Ant. Cortland Sutton versus Michael Wilson. That's a gross discussion. You're muted, Ant.
Perfect timing.
Michael Wilson or Cortland Sutton?
This week, give me Michael Wilson.
And I was saying, would it be a good idea to buy low on Cortland Sutton, or are we just going to buy that this is just a short term dip for Sutton? Like, would you send an Alec Pierce, who is currently a tier ahead of Cortland Sutton, for Cortland Sutton?
No.
Really?
No.
You might be too high on Pierce, but I was saying that might
What's
be a
the difference between
buy.
them? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
See, guys, I knew this was gonna be a Frizzle.
Hang
What am I
on.
looking at? Aziz Al Shair, bro, 49ers legend. Um, what is the difference between these two? Let me look at their game logs. Cause
All right, let me read you some stats. Oh wait, no, don't look.
I'm very interested on buying this, like for.
All right,
Is it just a 4-game dip, guys?
how does 127 air yards per game sound? 100th percentile of wide receivers. How does 2.3 air yards per snap share? How does 38% of team air yards sound? How does 19 and a half average depth of targets?
That's because the Colts offense is
1.9%
actually
drop
like the
right.
best offense in the league right now, I think, if you look at all the stats. They're genuinely like head and shoulders above like every other team in terms of offensive play right now.
Season high in snaps over the last 2 weeks.
Miles, bro, you know I'm a sucker for Chili's, but I'm not there, so you gotta throw that through. Yeah, I'm a big 3 for me. Give me the QP burger. Give me the chips and dip for the entire table. Use your Chili's app, get it for free. Give me a little bottomless Coke Zero. Get a little $6 monthly marg. Get a little bacon cheese potato soup. Chili's is a good time, guys. Go to Chili's. Chili's sponsor us right now.
Yeah. Come on, Chili's, hit us up for the sponsorship. We're big fans over here. Yeah, I don't like this, or I don't mind that either, Frizzle. I talked about really loving this pass rush and not trusting the Bills receivers' abilities to get open. I think this could be a nice day for the Texans defense.
Josh won't find anyone open. Well, if Josh won't find anyone open, we see how he gets when the game's competitive enough. He'll take off.
He's gonna run. Yeah.
But then again, I don't know if he can run, bro. Against those edge defenders, dude. I don't know.
We'll see. Anything else you want to talk about, Yash, for before we get out of here? Alec Pierce, go.
Alec Pierce is a dog, bro, and I don't even think we answered that question very well.
I feel even better about Alec Pierce after just looking at his advanced stats just now.
Just I'm looking at just like that 20% team target share for Sutton, and it's like nice, but
look at this, dude. Look at all this green on Alec Pierce.
Yeah. 50% catch rate. Get that guy out of the NFL.
It's the only bad stat on here. And then let's look at Cortland Sutton.
It's not too hot for Sutton. I mean, it's a lot of green too, but it's also a lot of blue.
Yeah.
And I feel like most of this is inflated by his stats beginning of the season. I wish I was able to filter this by just certain games, like the back half of the season, starting from like game 8 or maybe even game 6 to game 11. But
his snaps have been a little down. Is that just Denver running less plays? Or is it him?
I think it's them getting Pat Bryant more involved, low key, dude. Pat Bryant's been trending up for like a few weeks, and I think Pat Bryant's a nice little sneaky pickup. Not bad, but I don't know what you're getting for the receiver 3. Frizzle, I've been on Devon Vele, bro. I'm like #1 Saints scout, bro.
And I've been on AD Mitch. Come on.
Yeah, AD Mitch can't catch the football though.
Yeah.
Fragile, did you see Devon Vele played 70 snaps for the Saints last week or 2 weeks ago? And Chris Olave played like 48 or something. Pull up Devon Vele after we pull up AD Mitch. The GOAT. But I do think, Frizzle, with Devon Vele, you got to figure, right? They sold Rashid Shaheed for a third and a fourth, I believe. Or
Hey,
maybe just a fourth. They got Devon Vele for a third round pick. Bro was drafted in the 7th. So
Adonai Mitchell proving you wrong with the drop rate of 0%. There's no
Cap.
way.
Where
There's
is that?
no
Lies, dude. I saw him
way.
drop 2 passes last game.
They don't have an official drop counted.
Pull up Devon Vele highlights. Stream will probably get taken down, Frizzle, or else we probably would. But Devon Vele, not a bad football player. I know people just like to look at him, point and laugh that he's
Are we sure?
28, 7th-round pick, second-year guy. I mean, that's for this season. Pull up last season.
I mean, this year he's just been getting cardio.
Yeah, this year he hasn't been playing. He's been receiver 3 behind Rashid Shaheed.
All right, we'll look at last year.
But I think Devon Vele has some upside, right? Like Tyler Shuck's playing good football. I was going to say decent. I think he's playing good football, honestly. Like Chris Olave, my GOAT, my king, better than Brian Thomas Jr. any day, any time. I mean, he can only catch the football so much. Frizzle, you shouting all my favorite players, bro. Like you rewind the stream or something, dude. Then on Isaiah Hodgins, bro. Because who do we know that knows Isaiah Hodgins loosely? I know we know someone, Dustin, right?
Dustin,
Dustin like
yeah.
somehow knows Isaiah Hodgins.
Yeah, one of our friends knows Isaiah Hodgins.
So, we kind of been on Isaiah Hodgins since like his first stint with the Giants. Like he's serviceable, but
He's fun. He's a fun name.
I think who is it they have? Not Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton. Is he coming back this week? If he
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
back, I
he
don't
came
think you
back to
can start
practice
Hodgins.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Hodgins is kind of out of the equation. Probably going to get dropped to receiver 3 on that offense, but fun guy, fun name. I like him.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else before we get out of here? I pulled up Chris Olave's advanced stats for you to look at.
I thought this was Devon Vele for a second, bro.
28% of team targets is nasty for Olave.
Dude, that's why I don't want to sell Olave for what's his face, Devon Achane. Pull up Devon Achane. Let's talk about Devon Achane, bro, because I feel like Devon Achane like deserves his own tier directly under JT and CMC. Like he's just like he's mini CMC. Like he's CMC light. Like oh my god, look at the green guys. Like do we think Mike McDaniel saved his job too? On another note,
I don't know. I feel like they're gonna run it back with him one more year.
yeah, like can you move off of him after he just dogged the Bills? Like, dude. And they just beat didn't they just beat who did they just beat?
Well, they shouldn't have won that game, but they did.
Hey man.
Just beat the Commanders.
I saw an amazing Gruden take last week. Yeah, it was, they just beat the Bills. They're gonna come, they're gonna win out the rest of the season. They're gonna sneak into the wild card. Mike McDaniels is gonna get a 5-year contract. And that's John Gruden, guys. All right. He knows way more ball than I ever could. All right. I'll just openly admit that. So gotta listen to your guys. I think Mike McDaniel's job might be saved, and by extension, we get a couple more years of Devon Achane doing this.
Mm-hmm. This is Bijan Robinson. This just sounds so accurate right here. Like this just feels like I could have told you this.
Snaps without touch.
Everything else green as hell, except him just getting the ball. I guess he has touches per game that are hella high.
So weird. Have you looked at the NFL standings in a while? These are really interesting, especially for the AFC North. Like
Yeah, we can go through that.
Bengals could sneak. They could sneak up
Oh,
above the Ravens, dude.
I want to talk about playoff best ball because
Let's talk about it.
I don't think they're yet to open up any tournament. Oh,
Frizzle, you sound like the
uh,
people in TikTok live streams, bro, dropping 5K on a bet and watching it through a TikTok
never
live
mind,
stream.
guys. Playoff best ball has dropped on
Are
Underdog.
we gonna get one and done?
I could be down to rip one.
This is like prime time for everyone. It's like about to turn 7 o'clock EST,
All
4 o'clock our time.
let's rip.
You see Frizzle's parlay, by the way.
Let's see it. Actually,
Gabe Dave, 2 catches, Fairborn, 2 field goal, Hunter 1 sack for $10. What does that pay out? Like 100 something?
dude, take off Gabe Davis catches and run
Dude, I
James.
think that's a lock.
I do not.
What are the rest of the Bills receivers projected at?
Dude, you're going to be pissed when Gabe Davis is on the field for 30% of snaps, and then the 2 targets he does get, he's just absolutely locked down by Derek Stingley. Two targets, 0 receptions, final receiving yards.
Does it
Final
matter if
stat
he's
line for
on
Gabe
the
Davis.
field for 30% of snaps if every single one of those snaps he's getting a route?
No.
Because last game, I'll defend my boy. I'll defend my Gabe Davis take. Where is this?
What did he do last week?
22 snaps, which is in line with every other receiver. Tyrell Shavers, 29. Joshua Palmer, 28. Curtis Samuel, 28. Gabe Davis, 22. They are instantly inserting Gabe Davis into this offense. And what? Are they really going to play Curtis Samuel over Gabe Davis again? Probably
Chris
not. I
Samuel's
think he's
out.
injured. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joshua Palmer might get a small bump. Like, we're seeing like a Patriots almost with this, right? And you're telling me that what, four targets 22 times, like 20 20% of the time he's getting a target when he's out there.
I guess it's just
Bro's a hater.
I just don't want to play it through the Bills pass catchers. I'm sorry. Like I just
I mean,
don't think
that's a fair takeaway. To be fair, I wouldn't bet yards on Gabe Davis, but I think it's sharp to take his receptions.
I actually don't know if I'm going to do a playoff best ball yet. I need to. That'll be a full stream. Like we're gonna dedicate a full stream to ripping some playoff best ball.
And what actually go over our rest of season rankings for each position that we like whatever quarterbacks for that just answered question rest of the stream.
Yeah.
I love how he went through the trouble of making that document just to answer just to answer questions the entire stream.
Hey, we still had it on screen for a good portion.
We didn't even do like the tight end one. Pull it up. Do you have it still? Easily accessible?
Yeah.
Graham Mertz sneaky. You know what's crazy about that, Frizzle? A guy in our dynasty league picked up Graham Mertz.
I can just do this, Josh.
You're just gonna pull up the ESPN one?
Yeah, because it's changed.
Yeah, but ours was like pretty.
I know.
Like
this is
over the place and ugly.
Updated. Browns best wide receiver schedule rest of season. Broncos sixth best wide receiver schedule.
You're not sharing your screen.
Oh my bad. Here we go. Lions fifth best wide receiver schedule rest of season. JMO time, baby.
Broncos buy low on Sutton. There we go.
Vikings second best still.
What do you guys think about JJ McCarthy right now? Like, is it just public consensus that we all hate JJ McCarthy until he gives Justin Jefferson 30 fantasy points?
I have a take on the JJ McCarthy stuff.
You were
Um,
telling me this take this morning.
yeah, I still think he's going to be a fine quarterback. I don't think we're going to get it this year. Um, it's a lot of mechanical things. I watched the film myself and also was watching some film breakdowns to like double check what I was seeing. Um, Dan Orlovsky actually did a pretty good breakdown on it on ESPN, but he was basically talking about how his feet, like just the way he's set up when he's throwing the ball, he has a super wide base, which is obviously not something you want in a quarterback. You want to stay about shoulder width. You want to use your hips. And what he was doing, he's overextending a lot, right? And that kind of leads to just some more inaccurate throws because you're almost throwing it like a shortstop to first base rather than like a quarterback hitting a wide receiver, right? When you're overextending. So what happens in football is that tends to make you sail a lot of passes. You miss high. Um, and that's what McCarthy's been doing. He's been missing a lot of easy completions on just 10-yard outs, like 5-yard hitches, like quick outs, like things like that that should be pretty relatively routine throws for quarterbacks. He's been missing. And obviously, like that's a huge negative. Like you don't want your quarterback to have accuracy concerns. But when you talk about accuracy concerns rather than talking about boneheaded decisions and taking sacks he shouldn't and like just bad quarterback play, while yes, missing throws is bad quarterback play, but there's a difference. And I think that he's shown me enough with his college tape and with what he has shown and when it has looked good this year, when he has hit those throws, I think it's clear that he has the arm talent. He knows how to play the position. It's just a matter of dialing things down, dialing things in, chilling out a little bit. I think the nine persona, like I think he's almost trying a little too hard. Like
To answer the media.
like not even that, but just like he's pushing. Like he wants it so bad. He knows he hasn't been playing his best. Like he's trying. And I think that's kind of leading to some mechanical mistakes, some mental mistakes where he's just forcing a little bit. And it's
Frosty smashed that.
those are things that happen with young quarterbacks, right? So it's his basically his rookie year. Um, it doesn't make me feel great about Justin Jefferson rest of season, but I'll tell you what, you give him another full off season with Justin Jefferson, I think they'll be just fine long term. And if this means we get a second round price on Justin Jefferson next year for the first time in his career, I'm gonna be still taking a bunch of Justin Jefferson. That's more of like a long term outlook rather than anything this season, but just kind of my thought on the situation.
Do I play a Dunze over Pittman this week? No. Mm. I mean, I could see the Colts game being a high scoring game, honestly. And just to clarify, you're getting a Dunze in that trade. I'm assuming you're getting a Dunze for Keenan and Sharp, in which case, give me a Dunze all day.
I think
Um,
he was saying he got offered Keenan and Sharp for a Dunze.
oh, well, give me a Dunze side.
Yeah.
Keenan is a waiver wire pickup, and Charb, I mean, he's not too far behind.
Yeah.
Premium handcuff, just not doing a lot right now.
No real standalone value with Charbonnet right now. You can maybe flex him in a week, but Adunze is the clear best guy of that bunch. I think I would play Adunze over Pittman this week.
I can really see this Chiefs game being high scoring.
Do you?
Yeah, the Chiefs have a lot to play for. They're home. Colts are on fire all season. Daniel Jones is coming off 2 bad games. Needs to prove himself. Is on
Coming
the
off a
injury
bye
report
week
though.
too.
Yeah. I mean, I could see this being one of the higher scoring games of the week. I mean,
Kansas City ranking number 2 best in receiving yards per game allowed to wide receivers. Does that change your take?
no, because what is their rushing defense at?
Not as good. They're also 5th best in wide receiver touchdowns. And we know that's how Pittman really gets there. When we compare that to.
Do you really like the Steelers defense that much better as
To
a
attack?
target? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Let's look at Dunze. Pittsburgh, literally the worst passing defense to wide receivers as of right now.
So funny. I guess so, yeah. I would play a Dunze over him.
Touchdowns to
Caleb's
13.
playing good too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is
I like
Daniel Jones
Dunze.
actually on the injury report right now? Is that just like him being limited? Like what's going on
Yeah,
there?
I think it was just him limited at practice, but he's going to be fine, it seems like.
Since we're on the top of a quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., how worried are you about that? I heard very good perspective on it. You're going into your third year, you're going to be 26, and you're going to have 12 games played.
I'm more worried about him than I am McCarthy. Like, very easily.
Mm-hmm.
Very easily.
Does he even get his job next year? Do they explore other options? Do they trade a third round pick for Spencer Rattler?
I
Do
think though,
teams that are QB needy throw out some trades for like some backup guys that are high upside?
talking like a Trey Lance.
Trey Lance, Malik Willis, even.
He looked good against the Giants, actually.
He did, bro.
Willis
I was
did.
ready to go smash the pickup button on him. Like
Yeah,
yesterday, I was
he
like,
looked
damn,
good.
this guy's looking like a easy plug and play.
Yeah, I'm as someone who liked Penix coming out, like I'm more concerned about him than I am about McCarthy.
Still has a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's.
Weak QB draft. I think we could see a Spencer Rattler like get moved, honestly. And if Shador plays good rest of season and the Browns draft a quarterback, do we see like Shador and Dylan Gabriel get moved? Like, do we see Anthony Richardson get moved?
How would you redraft these guys?
I'm listening.
It's the quarterbacks from last year's class. It's Caleb, Drake May, Jane Daniels, Spencer Rattler, JJ McCarthy, Penix, Bo Nix. This guy did it and had Rattler in the first and Bo Nix as the last of these guys, which is kind of hilarious. I don't like Bo Nix, but I wouldn't do that. All right,
I think you
redraft.
take Drake May number one.
Yeah, you
take
got the 101. Who you taking?
Drake May.
You got the 102. Where are you going? JD5, right? Or is it still Caleb?
You want to go JD5 just because he showed you the playoff contention, right? The drive to win, the mobility with his legs, the maturity at quarterback, not having to develop him for 3 years, right? But at the same time, this is Caleb's like real first like chance in the NFL. Like last year was a dumpster fire on the Bears, just at every level, coaching, like management, team, receiver play, quarterback play. I'll just go JD5 because of what we've seen, but it's very close now. I think those two are way closer than they even were pre-draft at the time, and I know they were pretty close at the time too.
Yeah, I think I'm still JD5 because I'm just thinking to myself, like, could you imagine what Jane Daniels would look like on the Bears offense right now?
Mm-hmm.
He'd be very fun. But I think I'd go May, JD, Caleb, Bo Nix, McCarthy.
Really? I'm going Spencer Rattler, dude. I'm going Rattler, McCarthy, Penix.
I'm McCarthy, Rattler, Penix.
Low-key, in terms of quarterback play, I feel like we might be putting Bo Nix too high. Like, yeah, he's doing good, but is that because of him or because his defense and his coach and his supporting cast? Like, he's got a top O line.
I agree with you. I just think he's shown the most. Like, I don't think you can like I'm not gonna say that because I don't want that to get clipped. But
What? What are
I
you? What are
could.
you?
I was gonna say I could see a world where JJ McCarthy is a better NFL quarterback than Bo Nix, but it's not something I'm banking on. So if I'm redrafting, as if with everything I know now, I would go Bo Nix over McCarthy, but that could be subject to change.
Alex, give me JMO.
Yeah, JMO pretty easily.
And even if Emmanuel Wilson starts, are we excited to play him against the Vikings defense? Probably not.
Yeah, give me JMO. Trending up. All right, let's get out of here, Yash. Pretty long stream today. Appreciate y'all who hopped
Welcome
in
back,
throughout
stream.
the stream. Yeah, good to be back. Make sure to drop a like and sub and join the Discord. We'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.